Hi, Daddy. I like to wrestle with you.
Right, sir. Hold on, we're doing an interview here.
Hi, Daddy.
It's okay. It's part of the whole thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Daddy, I made something really cool for you. Only if you win the Iditarod in 5th, I would give you a this dog mushing picture.
Oh yeah.
Uppa wanted to frame it because it was so awesome.
Okay, can't wait to see it.
And it looks like real. It looks like the real sled, but.
Okay. All right, Pete. Ninth run. You look tired, but tell us about this race as a whole. I mean, you're more experienced now. You got a team that came in with 8, but they look beautiful. They were barking and the whole thing. Just tell us your reaction. I know you're tired, but tell us what you think.
Well, it doesn't seem to get any easier with more experience or older age or whatever's been changing. But yeah, it's every year it's a different challenge, and this year was no exception. Lots of different challenges, and it's mental, it's physical, it's a lot of different things. This year had more physical exertion than a lot, just with the deep snow and helping the team, and then getting down to a smaller number of dogs and needing to help them more. So, and then the mental warfare every day with yourself and the team, and trying to make the right decisions, and being sleep deprived and everything else. So, yeah, it's challenging. It's 1 minute things are going great, and literally a second later something's not going right, and you're worried about the outcome. And so that's how you deal with all that stuff, and it can be difficult at times, but very rewarding to get here and be done.
Well, this trail was, sometimes it appears from the spectator's view that the trails are kind of established, more established. And this year, I mean, if I was a spectator to look at it, it just looked like a lot of trail that you guys were making compared to an established trail. Talk about the trail conditions as a whole compared to ones that, they're not like that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of snow. I mean, you can even have an established trail, if you get a bunch of fresh snow, things are going to change. And then there was a certain amount of snow machine traffic too, leapfrogging us every day, that would damage the top of the trail, and so that would change. And some wind in there with all this loose snow drifting in the trail. So every condition you could imagine that involves wind, snow, and that sort of thing. So every variation of drifting trail, punchy trail, baseless trail with a base that had new snow on top of it. So a lot of different runs like that were difficult, and a lot of the southern route is more untraveled trail too. So that's kind of to be expected to deal with some of that, but it seemed like it was more than we bargained for.
Right. Well, you had 2 at least from the outside, the Ophir to Iditarod, and then the up over to Koyak that just looked extreme. You talk about those two marks there. Were they as bad as it seemed?
No, going to Iditarod wasn't too bad for us. I think it was worse for some of those front guys that got caught in the wind. Going to Koyak was a little challenging. It actually could have been windier, but a steady 30-mile-an-hour wind in your face for 9 hours when the dogs are trying to navigate the trail, and it was really low visibility, and I've never seen it out there the way it was. It was such an even white between the snow and the sea ice and the sky. And when you'd nod off and wake up again, it would take you literally 5 to 10 seconds to figure out where the skyline was and get your bearings. It looked like you were just looking at a white piece of paper. And then eventually you'd see a trail marker or something, and you could find where the horizon was and differentiate between the sky and the ground. But it was really trippy.
Yeah, you said that. Talk about the team. You must be just so proud of this group.
Yeah, they did well. I mean, we didn't train for this at all, and not by design, just by, our luck out in Bethel. We didn't get much snow, so they're really not used to snow, and especially Punji Trail, they use so many different muscles, and it's a whole different ball game. So, if I could have dreamed up a trail that would have been to the least of our advantage, it would have been something like this. So I'm amazed at how well they did, and to pull off a 5th place with training that didn't involve anything like this it's a credit to just the dogs' athleticism and how skilled they are.
Yeah. Who led you in?
Morrow and Frida. So Morrow led me in last year too. They both did a fair share of leading.
And talk about the little one you had to bring in the basket that just went all the way.
A little spark plug named Lucy, who's 3, led literally every step from Willow to about 10 miles back here. She had a little sore shoulder, and I had to load her in the sled and carry her in. It was a super bummer. I felt really bad for her. I don't think she cared one way or the other, but would have been nice for her to come under the line. She deserved it for sure. She really put a ton of work into getting us here, and it's nice to see some fresh faces up in lead. And it was one of the best leader situations I've ever had this year. They were almost flawless, and I had more that I could have used, but I had dogs in heat, and I kind of had the whole team separated with males in the back. I had 4 real nice male leaders that never even went into lead, just because I didn't want to mix and match females and males, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. A really nice job.
Thank you.
All right.